So this was quite shocking, a shocking detail. This is indeed Mark Bertolino's personal Facebook and also Instagram. If you will notice, there's someone on Mark Bertolino's personal account, which is very, very unusual. I remember getting chills the first time it was discovered, but you can see if you look very closely, Christine Schulte. That's correct. The sister, or actually the direct relative of Kylan and Crystal Schulte, who died in Moab, Utah. That is correct. One other interesting detail about Mr. Bertolino's Instagram and Facebook account is there are several friends that are in common with some interesting people. One of them is named Christa Platt. Christa Platt shares some interesting links in common with Mr. Bertolino, Mr. Mark Bertolino in this case. Where does Christa Platt live? Well, she lives in the area of Bloomington, which you can't mistake. Christa Platt has a few in common with Mr. Mark Bertolino, and also knows Cara Boaster. Also, in fact, knows Cara Boaster. So this is what connects them. Apparently, Miss Christa Platt, being a university professor at the official ISU, has worked there for many years as a director. And at the very, very minimum, although it's not confirmed until it's fully investigated, but at the very minimum, has something very much in common with Cara Boaster and is a friend of hers. So thank you once again. This is just a short update. This will be a very short video. This is none other than Alexa Christina Platt. Alexa Christina Platt. Okay? This is a direct cousin. In fact, this is the daughter who is the essential cousin of Christa Platt, who is the teacher, that's correct, the teacher at Illinois State University, who's also done projects in LaSalle County. There you can see Christina Platt, who is the cousin of Christa, on the actual Appalachian Trail. It's very important for some reason to be able to document it. This is the actual Appalachian Trail where one of the laundries allegedly visited as Christina Platt. This is the cousin of the Black American Christa Platt. Once again, I'll repeat that. Cousin of the Black American Christa Platt, who is a director and teacher of studies at Illinois State University. Last thing, Christina Platt is also very closely associated with the Bertolinos and Cara Boaster. Thank you. This was very important to record, apparently, for some reason. This last part that we discussed for right now on this key issue is this is Christa Platt. She is a director of education for Illinois State University and does projects quite often at LaSalle University. Friends that she has in common with Bertolino himself and with someone else is Patrice Davis, Winetta Davis, Adrico Wallace, etc. Her cousin has already been mentioned, and she is more or less white South African. Now, what was interesting about this is Christina Platt, not Christa Platt, but Christina Platt was hiking in that area in Illinois. And of course, the other interesting aspect about this with Christina Platt herself is the fact that she does know Bertolino, but more importantly about any of that, there were two white women who have not been identified yet by anyone who apparently had Mr. Jelani Day's clothes. And so this very well, I'm going to say at this point, based upon some of the hard evidence that's come out, this may very well tie directly into it. This appears to be in fact, ring of some sort. Christina Platt and Christa Platt, who's the director of teaching, don't forget that, director of teaching at Illinois State University, know for some reason Bertolino pretty well. They also know Cara Boster. Thank you again. This is just going to be a quick, brief update. At least part of this mystery has finally been resolved. It appears that Mr. Bertolino indeed had financial ties to this, but likewise, Christa Platt, who's a director of education and a teacher at Illinois State University, and specifically has done projects also with LaSalle University of Illinois. Her direct cousin, who is in fact basically a white African, she comes from that area, but she's a direct cousin of Christina Platt, likely knows exactly what happened and went on with Jelani. She's a part of, Miss Christina Platt is a part of presumably some kind of organization, could be KK, I don't know. We can't make any kind of assumptions about it, but there was two white women who found Jelani's clothes, and Christina Platt knows all about that. So at a minimum, at a very key minimum, part of this mystery has finally been resolved. The other thing is they are a part of some kind of group. And the other key issue of that is Christina Platt, for sure, knew Cara Boster because Christa Platt had indirect ties to Cara Boster herself. Thank you again. Again, you need to make sure that you look into Platt. Thank you.